Welcome to Faust, Unraveling the Great Enigma. I am your host, Rebecca Budd, and I am grateful you have joined me as we continue our journey into Goethe's great work. In our previous episode, we lingered with the prologue and listened as Goethe called forth the dim, floating shapes from memory, the shadowy companions of youth, the long slumbering chords that awaken when we return to a beloved text. Today we take our next step. This is our orientation, a moment to pause and ask a simple question. Why Faust now? Why this story? Why this moment in time? Why this conversation across centuries? Goethe wrote Faust over the course of a lifetime. It grew with him, changed with him, and reflected the evolution of his own inner world. Perhaps that is why the poem feels so alive when we meet it. Faust is not a figure trapped in history. He is a reflection of our own longing, our own questioning, our own restlessness. We live in an age that moves very quickly. Information surrounds us, yet meaning often feels elusive. We know much, yet sometimes we feel we understand little. And into this world steps Goethe with a quiet invitation. Slow down. Ask again. What do you seek? What do you long for? What will you risk to live more deeply? Before Faust arrives, Goethe introduces three figures, each offering a different way of meeting the world. The manager reminds us that without the multitude we cannot thrive. He represents the pull of the public sphere, the pressure of expectation, the need to please and perform. The poet longs for sanctuary and whispers, "Let some noiseless nook of refuge be my heaven." He seeks the quiet interior world, where truth is shaped slowly and beauty is allowed to breathe. The merry fellow offers us a spark of immediacy and joy. Time will reap his own, but in our power the moment lies. He calls us toward presence, toward the courage to live fully in the hour we hold. These voices may seem theatrical, yet Goethe chose them with intention. They are archetypes of human striving. The manager embodies the world's demands and distractions. The poet embodies our longing for meaning, depth, and inner truth. The merry fellow embodies the lively spark that reminds us life must be lived, not only contemplated. Goethe places them at the threshold to prepare us. Before we meet Faust, we meet ourselves. These three figures are not strangers. They are companions within us. They represent the pressures we navigate as we seek purpose, the dreams we protect, the moments of joy we must choose to claim. I find that I recognize myself in all three voices. There are days when I understand the manager, anxious about expectations and eager to offer something meaningful to the world. There are moments when the poet feels closest to me, longing for a quiet refuge where truth can be shaped without interruption. And there are times when the merry fellow's wisdom speaks more clearly, reminding me the hour we hold in our hands is precious and alive. I believe most of us carry these voices within us. They accompany our choices, our hopes, our hesitations. Goethe knew this. By placing these voices at the opening of Faust, he shows us that the search for meaning is not simple. It is a conversation between the parts of ourselves that yearn, the parts that dream, and the parts that simply want to live fully. Now we return to Faust himself, a scholar who has reached the limits of knowledge, a man who has mastered everything he can study and still feels a hollow space within. Mephistopheles enters not as a monster, but as a voice of disruption. Gretchen brings tenderness and tragedy. Part 2 opens toward myth and imagination. Through it all, Faust searches for meaning, for purpose, for a life awakened from its sleep. This podcast is not a lecture. It is an encounter. We will not race ahead or try to conquer the text. We will walk with it. We will allow it to speak to our own experience, just as it spoke to Goethe's. Let Faust be a companion, not an assignment. As we begin, I invite you to take a moment of stillness. Breathe. Let the noise of the day fall back. Let this story meet you where you are. A starter question for you to carry forward. Where in your life do you feel a quiet pull towards something more? Not more achievement or more accomplishment, but more meaning, more depth, more connection. Hold that question gently as we continue our journey. Thank you for joining me at this threshold. Together, we will explore why Faust matters and why it matters now. Let us begin. I'm Rebecca Budd, and this is Faust, Unraveling the Great Enigma.